What do all those strange numbers and letters on your scuba cylinders mean? Let's dive in and find out. Hey guys, welcome back to Tampa Bay Diving. My name is Blake and I'm a professional recreational scuba diving instructor and digital content creator. I hope you all had a great weekend of diving. I myself certified another awesome student and still had time to get some spearfishing in, but I want to hear about yours. Drop a comment down below and let me know how and what your dives were. Today, I'm going to be telling you all about scuba cylinders and what you'll need to know about maintaining them and purchasing used ones. But stick around to the end of the video for an exciting announcement. So right here next to me is an aluminum 80 cubic foot cylinder, or its more common name that you'll hear, an AL 80. This is the most commonly used cylinder for scuba diving throughout the world. Yes, there are others for different types of diving, and I've got some examples of those. Right, so the AL 80, used by dive centers all over the world, and if you're renting cylinders for a course or purchasing your first one, then odds are it's going to be one of these. A good analogy, in America at least, is think about this as the pickup truck of cylinders. Durable and useful for just about anything. In Europe, I guess it would be the hatchback. And up at the top here, you'll see all of these markings, and most divers starting out are unsure of what they mean. So let's take a look and explain it. So starting off on my AL 80 up here at the top, you will see TC3ALM207 Luxford. TC is short for Transport Commission, which is the regulatory body of Canada. They regulate cylinders in their country. On some models, you may see CTC or Canadian Transport Commission. They both are referring to the same agency. Next is 3ALM. This simply means that the cylinder was made from 3-gauge aluminum. If you want to see something unusual, ask an Englishman to say aluminum. It's the funniest thing to hear, but what does it matter? I swear those guys' accents are so awesome, they could sell me just about anything. So just to the right of that is 207. That is the working pressure of the cylinder in bar, which is what most of the world uses. I think we and about 3 other countries use imperial, but that's not going to change. Just know that if you're an American traveling abroad, even to the Caribbean, you may want to learn how to convert bar from PSI. Lastly on this top line is Luxford. That is the name of the manufacturer of the cylinder. Now, there are 2 major manufacturers of the AL 80, and they are Luxford and Catalina. For the other types of cylinders, there are more manufacturers, and I'll show you one when we take a look at it. Moving down to the next line, you'll see DOT first. Like the Transport Commission in Canada, we have our own regulatory agency, and the DOT, or Department of Transportation, is it. To the right is 3AL3000. This again means 3-gauge aluminum with working pressure of 3,000. But this is in PSI. Remember, imperial versus metric, and in the US, we are imperial. If we move over, you'll see P377811. This is the serial number of the cylinder. And then we have M4141, which is the manufacturer's code, in this case, Luxford. Then you'll see a 07, a little symbol, 19. This is the month and the year this cylinder was made, and the symbol is the manufacturer's or inspector's stamp. Lastly on this row, you'll see S80. That is the model number of this cylinder for Luxford and its capacity of 80 cubic feet. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this video or getting some educational value and want to learn more about scuba diving, then dive down, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and ring that dive bell. Now, if you're ever renting or buying a used cylinder, you may see additional markings similar to the cylinder make date. For example, on mine, you'll see 08, a little symbol, and 23. This is the marking of a hydro test date that this cylinder was put through. You may see multiple markings like this or not. Here in the US, scuba cylinders are required to be put through a hydro test every 5 years. So you want to look for the most recent dated marking to make sure it was performed in the last 5 years. This one was completed in August of 2023, so it won't need to be done again until August of 2028. The last thing you need to look for on one of these cylinders is the visual inspection sticker. Scuba cylinders are required to be visually inspected once per year. What they do is they drain the tank of any gas, remove the valve, and place a light inside to make sure that there's no corrosion on the inside. And at this time, the tech will also take a look at your valve and see if it needs to be serviced or replaced. So as you can see, this AL 80 was last visually inspected in July of 2024. I'll have it visually inspected when I have to fill it again in July of 2025. This isn't a long process and something that can be done within an hour at most dive shops. If a shop says that they need to hold it for any given period of time, then they're probably just really backed up. If you've got another cylinder, then no big deal, but if that one is your only one, then you may need to try another shop, but generally shops do the viz right there before they fill it for you. The hydro test, on the other hand, can take a week or two because your cylinder has to be sent off for this test. So it may be a good idea to purchase a second cylinder sometime in between that 5-year time frame. So that way they don't have to be hydroed at the same time, or you can just rent. Depending on how much you dive and want to spend, it may or may not be feasible. Now, next month in May 2025, we're going to be heading down to the Keys to work on some projects for the channel with some of our partners. We've got some great stuff lined up for you guys and for our channel members. We'll get exclusive access to behind the scenes content and longer videos, and we may say some stuff that we necessarily can't on the public access side. So if you're not a member, head on over and join us there. I promise I'll make it worth your while. If you enjoyed this video or got some educational value, then dive down, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that dive bell. That way you never miss any of our future content. And if you want to see the full video with all the information on a variety of cylinders and access to all exclusive content, then consider joining the members section for less than a cup of coffee a month, where we'll be diving in, giving you insights on tips like this, dive gear, special locations, live streams, and so much more. Plus, portions of the dues are donated to organizations like the Coral Restoration Foundation that works to rebuild and repair depleted coral reef ecosystems. I'll be back next week with another video, but until then, plan your dive and dive your plan.